we go. Oh, perfect. I heard you guys like Miatas. Today we have another ND3. This one has been modded. This is a club, but it's a base club, so there's no Brembo, BBS, Recaro package. But the owner has optioned the Supermiata Tecna coilovers with Swift sport springs. So it's still 8K, 4K, just like my ND3 Miata that also has the Tecnas, but I did not go with the Swift spring upgrade. We have these Flyin Miata Kogeki 17x9 wheels wrapped in 235 section with Toyo Proxes Sport tires. We have a Cravenspeed short shift kit, Goodwin Racing engine bay brace, HKS Legomax Sport exhaust, and SRP pedals. This example is in Zircon Sand Metallic, a very polarizing color for a small roadster. I actually wanted this color on my CX-50, but I ended up going with polymetal gray based on availability. In terms of quick stats on the car, we're powered by a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4 engine, making 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 6-speed manual transmission in this example. You can also go with a 6-speed auto, but why would you do that on a Miata? And with the soft top, we're weighing in right around 2,300 pounds. If you go with the hard top, the RF, that's going to be a 100-pound penalty. As you can see, we have the base seats, not the upgraded Recaros, but I actually prefer these in certain ways. I'll tell you about that in a sec when we start driving. And I love that the owner has the exact same phone mount that I have, which does wireless charging like that. You guys can find yours linked below with a special discount as well. Now with the ND3, we get this new DSC off mode. With the club, we have the LSD as well, new updated asymmetric LSD. Gives us more rotation on corner exit and less rotation on corner entry. And first impressions, I'm most curious about the suspension because as you guys know, I have the Tecnas with the sport springs. That's 8K, 4K front to rear. This actually feels more compliant though, and the interesting thing is that he's actually running 3 millimeters lower than I am, and I thought that part of the reason my ride felt a little bit harsher is because of the ride height, especially on a bumpy road like this where you can hit bump stops. Now, even though the Swift springs are the same rate, they actually look quite a bit different because when you purchase the Tecnas with the Swift springs, you get both. They come pre-installed with the regular springs, and then the Swift springs are in the box, and they're a little bit thinner, fewer coils, so maybe it makes sense that they are a little bit more compliant. But keep in mind, there are so many other variables as well, right? So he's also running his dampers about 5 or 10 clicks softer than I am. Wheels and tires are also different. What beautiful little cars. These things with they have such good bones, such good fundamentals. You have double wishbone suspension in the front, multi-link rear, lightweight. Engine is really low and far back to help with that weight distribution. So the front end feels quite responsive, although I will say that in this example, because of the alignment differences, less camber and less caster compared to my car, the front end is not nearly as sharp. Alignment can do a huge difference there. Let's give you a pull. $7,500 RPM redline. Very linear power delivery from this naturally aspirated inline-4. It's what you want from your sports car. These pedals making heel toe harder. They have the wider throttle, which always feels unnatural to me. I'm either under or over blipping the throttle because the pedals aren't quite what you expect. But I guess there's just a learning curve there. The transmission with this short shift kit I feel like the stock Miata transmission already feels so good. With the short shift kit though, it's no surprise that the throws are a little bit higher effort because you're still having to do the same work of changing gears, but now in less distance, so it makes sense it's going to be a little bit higher resistance, which I don't mind. Hello, SF90. And I don't dislike the transmission. I'm just not sure if it's an upgrade. Oh, there we go. Oh, perfect. That little bit of rotation on throttle with this new asymmetric LSD, getting that on the last two corners, so beautiful. I love the way they've set this up. Straight from factory. The transmission's a little bit notchier, a little bit higher effort. If you want shorter throws, go for it, but I feel like the stock Miata transmission is already so good. The owner is like me in that, oh man, these pedals, dude. The owner is like me in that he loves the S2000. He actually owned an AP2 and he regrets, that's the one car he regrets selling. And you can see little touches, like even the shift knob is inspired from an S2K. Now going back to the seats, I actually find these stock seats to be more comfortable than the Recaros. The Recaros have more lateral support, so you're not sliding around as much. And keep in mind, I also have a seat lowering bracket from JAS that gets me about a little bit more than 2 inches lower, which helps if you're a taller driver. But the reason why I think that these are more comfortable is simply because the back doesn't have this extra curvature that the Recaros do. So your thoracic spine, like the middle of your back, if you're a taller driver, the place where your mid-back wants to curve doesn't align with where the Recaro's mid-back curves. And then I end up getting a lot of back pain. So what I've done in my car is with the JAS brackets, there's actually a separate seat back raising kit. So if you're a taller driver, to get that curvature to sit more aligned with where you want it to be, the whole back of the seat goes up by about 5 centimeters. That helps. But here you don't need that because it doesn't have as aggressive of that curvature. Let's give you one more pull. It's been a lot of fun driving all these various examples of the ND3, from sports to clubs to grand touring, and it is such an amazing platform to start with. Based on the mods you choose, from wheels and tires to alignment to suspension to whether or not you do additional bracing, those little things can move the needle enough that you have a noticeably different driving experience. Like in my car, as an example, I have a smaller diameter steering wheel, but I also have much more aggressive camber and caster, and also different wheels, different tires, and the steering in my car has greater feedback. But I've driven other cars that have even more. This car has a bit less. The difference in ride comfort, I'm pretty sure, is due mostly to 2 factors. Number one, the owner is running a few PSI lower than what I am, slightly below what is on the door sill. And of course, he has more tire sidewall at a lower PSI. That's also going to be pretty noticeable. And number two, he set his adjustable dampers to a softer setting. I think the Swift springs themselves are going to be a minor factor here. Because as we know, the initial harshness on compression is due to damping, not really spring rates as much. I really like what Mike, the owner, has done here in terms of mods. The more of these examples I drive, the more I see what I want to change in my car. So I definitely need an exhaust, which is helpful, especially on the racetrack, because there are times, you know, windows down, your helmet's on, you can't even hear the engine over the wind noise. And you need that to know when to shift. You need to hear the engine. So an axle back or cat back exhaust is going to help with that. Mike mentioned he is going to be tracking this car, and Even for hard canyon driving and track use, you obviously need to upgrade the brakes. I think this is stock brakes right now. I can actually smell them cooking a little bit, even though I wasn't even driving it that hard. And this has me thinking that if I were to do it all over again, I'd probably save the $4,500 of the Brembo BBS Recaro package and just go with a base club and then get a big brake kit myself. I'm going to change the wheels anyway, so the BBS wheels, even though I think they're really nice stock, I knew I was going to change those. And then the seats, because the Recaros aren't that comfortable for me, I would just get buckets, honestly. I might still get buckets in my car. But there you have it, my friends. Big shout out to Mike for letting me review his ND3. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Much love, my friends, and I'll see you all in that next one.